Hi guys, and welcome to 30 Minutes right here on City TV. It's a terrific throwback Thursday kind of vibe. But starting it off with something that may not be so terrific, at least for Alban Bagbin, because he seems to have started his campaigning on the very wrong note, saying some things a lot of people are finding quite offensive. My name is ageist, and I'm here with
Melissa Awad. Welcome back, guys. We are live here with you, and of course, like we always tell you, use that hashtag 30 minutes, hashtag 30 minutes, and get at us on Twitter, AJ Sarpong and Melly Melforo, and all our social media handles at City TV, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Get interactive with us. We want to hear from you. We'll be right back.
Every Thursday night on City TV, you're welcome to join women from different backgrounds and opinions as they weigh in on your relationship issues. Watch Sister Sister as the ladies get real with issues about love, marriage, betrayal, sex, dating, trust, finances, and more.
You can tell him, like she said, tell him about it because clearly you have a problem with it. But if he's still, being that way, then you might have to advise yourself because it's a weird thing.
Join Jessica and her sisters for City TV's all-women talk show, Sister Sister, every Thursday at 9 p.m.
You're in tune to the Breakfast Daily on City TV. Stoneboy says so. Keep it locked. Don't log off.
We spice up your mornings with culturally enriched conversations, social interviews, and policy-oriented discussions that will keep you updated on the progress of the nation.
And that is the reason I was making the point to him that I refrained from responding to this Joyce Bauer statement. Because if some President Mahama of diverting a certain amount of money, deal with that, deny same, and move on with your life.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Let your voice be heard with the hashtag Breakfast Daily. Join us for breakfast daily, only on City TV.
and you're tuned in to 30 Minutes right here on City TV. And on Thursdays, I get really excited because I call Thursdays Free Friday. I see the weekend coming. The weekend is approaching, guys. Be happy.
Yeah,
very
we definitely saw the weekend coming last weekend, but we won't talk about that, guys. As we saw we saw the weekend coming.
We saw a lot of weekends coming. But going into what it's a trending conversation today, starting off with the Nadoli Kalio MP Alban Bagbin, who is also the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, who has said a few things that a lot of people are not taking very lightly. Well, these are the exact comments he made. He says if he was speaking to party communicators in the Volta region that former President Mahama made a bad decision by appointing Dr. Edward Omane-Boama as communications minister because he stammers. He went again to chide Mahama for his appointment of Dr. Seydou Dana as chieftaincy minister, saying blind people are not whole and therefore unfit to lead a ministry that includes or handles chieftaincy affairs. So the exact words he put out said, if you are not whole, can you be chief or queen mother? So when you form a government and make the minister of chieftaincy a blind person and the chiefs are objecting and you don't change it, what are you telling the chiefs? These are facts I am stating. I have not added anything. You know it, but you may not have appreciated the impact of what happened. And when some of us are close and can foresee it and we see it, then you are somewhere and you are telling people to insult us. Is it not a chief that speaks? It's a linguist. Or it's not a chief that speaks, it's a linguist. So if you're a leader, you must have a good linguist. When Professor Evan Atamils was in power, Harry Najusu was our linguist in charge of communications. When our brother John came to power, he substituted him for Dr. Omane, who is a natural stammerer. He is a very intelligent boy, smart, but when he's speaking, he wastes time in coming out. Ghanaians don't have that much patience. Wow. Talk about getting your foot in there. Really said that. to party communicators as a way of kickstarting his campaign for NDC flag bearer 2020. Not a good start, if you ask me.
Maybe he was in a bad mood.
But if you're in a bad mood, why would you insult a whole demographic of people?
That's
like,
very helpful.
Unless you've had a disability before, you have no right to criticize someone who does have a disability. As a matter of fact, blindness is not something that you can throw around like that. What are you trying to say? That people that are blind are not capable of holding positions of power? That's just wrong. It was offensive in any way. And if you're in a position of power as he is and has been, you don't say certain things. You might think it, perhaps that's what he thinks. Perhaps that's what is kitchen table talk. But as I always say, don't bring kitchen table talk or water by the water cooler into the public domain.
So I think the biggest thing is that, unfortunately, his words have hit to different groups.
Yes.
Different groups with disabilities. Stammering, too, is not something to play around
lightly,
with or to take lightly. I mean, there's so many people in positions of power with visually impaired disabilities, stammering issues. I know artists who are phenomenal, who sing, but they stammer in real life, but their voices are phenomenal.
Wow.
So I think that's the biggest thing that I take away from all of this. It's unfortunate, you know?
No way, he should not have said that. I don't know, but a lot of people have been commenting on social media and have a lot to say about this particular one. So going into our social media feed of quite a lot of different opinions on this particular issue. Starting out with Che Veggie, interesting name. Well, even if someone should be heard, it should be Mahama, because Bagbin was speaking about things Mahama did that cost their party the ordeal. So Mahama or his associates should be replying Bagbin in political context, not persons with disabilities. Che is putting, well, if it affects persons with disabilities, shouldn't they have the opportunity to reply as well?
And I'm sure people have.
Well, more streaming commentary. Katseku Newton says, Honorable Bagbin must stop the needless attacks on the disability community. The rights, political, civil rights, economic, social and cultural rights of all must be respected. Absolutely. Absolutely. I just really agree with that. And moving on to more social media commentary.
And just Nana Ama, right here in the City Newsroom, I need to know why Alban Bagbin, one of the most respected politicians in NDC, thought we needed to hear his ableist comments. Does he not know that persons with disabilities also vote? This is so disappointing because he was one of the good ones. Why is he on this trip? Moving on into some more social media commentary from Gentle K Mike. Alban Bagbin knows very well that he cannot win with the NDC flag bearer race, but will make sure Mahama loses more votes than he lost in 2016. He knows exactly what he is about, and I like what he is doing.
Really?
Oh, Mike. All right, from IKSM. Alban Bagbin, unfortunately, you ended your campaign from the start.
Really?
Sorry. Moving on to more social media commentary from Flex K Jermaine. Some of us won't watch you take our incoming president to the gutters. We shall respond in all equal measure.
Hey, so I'm guessing Flex is supporting Bagbin or something?
Moving on from Fidel. Bagbin has no message, but can a blind delegate vote for him to be president?
Interesting word, Fidel.
All right, Fidel. And then from Batalira, the truth is painful.
Wow.
Oh.
What truth?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. And then from Awesome Curtis, at this point, Alban Bagbin should forget about running for president. Loose talk. Exclamation.
Well, Angelo Williams says, Trump tactics, he will say no faster and make headlines. By the time we realize he chopped president, he's clearly trying to appeal to a certain, in quotes, audience. It's okay. Alfalfa GH says, what at all did Alban Bagbin eat yesterday? Dude was off track. As concerned citizens, we must not condone and support individuals with outrageous views like that of Bagbin's. Discrimination is never the way forward for Ghana. True that, true that. Well, Abba Asamoah says, Alban Bagbin actually said someone is not whole when they are differently abled. Such backwardness. Hey! Charlie. Aaron says, since Stammerers Association of Ghana is angry because Alban Bagbin is saying Omanebwama wasn't efficient in executing his PR because he was a stammerer, can short people also get angry because we are rejected in the military?
Yes, get angry.
Aaron, form the association and come back to us.
I'm just joking. Well, you know what? Someone said that he's maybe appealing to a certain type of audience.
What kind of audience?
There's one I'm guessing, but I'm not here to talk about that. But whatever the audience is, whatever I'm thinking in my head, you know, you can't forget that particular audience, their family members may have disabilities. Yeah. So the audience that you're targeting for votes or whatever, you know, you've just discriminated against a possible family member, child, you know, things of that nature. And
he's not running for an association president. He's not running for president of a club. He's running for president, or hoping that to get the flag bearership to run for president of the entire country. This is a country made up of able-bodied people as well as persons with disabilities. If from the get-go you feel that certain people with disabilities cannot occupy certain positions, that means you're coming in already prejudiced, knowing that certain people in the society are not going to be a part of your government. How are you supposed to appeal to persons with disabilities or know their issues if you not allow them be in positions of power?
But you know what, AJ, comments like these, the person usually gets votes. We've seen this happen before, maybe not in Ghana, but in other countries. These comments fly around.
But when you're prejudiced, then you appeal to a certain group of people that want you to
exactly, because people feel like, oh, wow, somebody that actually feels the same way that can lead. You understand, like we've seen it. I'm not going to mention the country or the nation, but
you can guess.
Exactly. So unfortunately, they still get the votes.
But I would hope that I'm thinking highly enough of Ghanaians that we will not fall for gimmicks such as that, because if someone who's prejudiced or you support the person's prejudices, it shouldn't mean, because you never know what can happen, because disability is not something that you can foresee coming. It never happens. You never know. You can move from, I went from walking one day to falling down the stairs and then being bedridden for 8 weeks. Like, it can happen to anyone at any point in time. So that kind of prejudice is just not, it shouldn't be acceptable, especially in positions of power such as that. Well, in case you didn't know, there is a Stammerers Association of Ghana. They're there, and they have a logo and everything else inclusive, and they have spoken about this particular comments by Honorable Alban Bagbin, because they feel it discriminates them in totality. So the statements put out by them says, our attention has been drawn to a very damnable soundbite on Stammerers from the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin. On the voice clip, the second Deputy Speaker was heard clearly alluding that Dr. Omane Boamah was not fit to occupy the communications ministry because he was a stammerer. We find his description of the former minister not only unguarded, reckless and infantile, but an attack on all well-meaning stammerers in the communications industry. Stammering is a speech disorder which impairs one's speech flow, but that cannot, with all due respect to Mr. Bagbin, be used as a yardstick to judge one's competency. We note with concern that his unguarded attack on the former minister could discourage many stammerers from going into politics and public service. It's again this backdrop that we demand a full apology on behalf of Dr. Omane Boamah from the Nadauli Kalio constituency, while cautioning him to desist from passing comments which have the potential of undermining the intellectual capacities of people with physical impairment.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot to take.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see the stance and where they're coming from. But will he apologize?
Wow. I feel like we're always waiting for somebody to apologize for something. I'll call it the year of apology.
Well, you never know. Well, at least the NDC party says they're going to take some stance against it, or the things he said, and might be looking at some disciplinary action. This is Asidun Katia speaking on behalf of the NDC at an event.
We've given, advice about the conduct of the campaign leading to any of our elections, because the same advice applied to all the elections. That is the reason why I think that I may answer this question. And so concentrate on your message. If somebody goes against those guidelines, there are processes you need to invoke and go through them. The processes do not include offended parties also taking the law into their own hands and firing back. So the issues are more complex than the press wants us to believe. The party has structures. we have National Executive Committee, we have Functional Executive Committee, we have disciplinary committees and all the others. So when we talk about structures, some of them will do investigations, some of them will go and do fact finding. If there is evidence, some of them will sit on it, and so on and so on. That's why I refer to them generally as structures.
Wow, AJ. So we're waiting for, what are we waiting for? Official apology?
Maybe.
No, that's what I want. No, seriously,
Maybe.
That's what I want to see for those who are feeling upset, those who are with disabilities or not with disabilities. I think it can affect everybody across the board.
Yes,
that's what I'm waiting
absolutely. For. So I think it's the right thing to do. Just apologize and then move on.
And just move on.
And hopefully we'll forget it. But maybe not. Well, moving on.
Moving on. So let's move into some more social media commentary. We have some tweets. So let's take a look at these from Zadok Kwame. Let us put all jokes aside. Mr. Alban Bagbin spoke the truth with regard to context. Context cannot be taken out of meaning. In linguistics, context and meaning are very critical to understanding one's language. All right. So in Ghana politics, the truth does not matter. However, it's rather the misplaced emotional slang crafted by some, misclassified as a salvation cry that matters to most Ghanaians. Alban Bagbin owes no one an apology.
Hey, wow.
I highly disagree. And then from then on, Honorable Alban Bagbin is on a self-destructive path.
That I can agree.
All right. From Salom, Romeo_Romeo, there should be a law that will allow 1,000 lashes in public for any politician that says discriminatory things like what Alban Bagbin said against stammerers and the blind.
True.
Ooh, Salom. Moving on to more social media
Honorary
commentary.
Rodney Nkrumah Boateng says, Alban, this is low. You should know better. Chia. Question is, who said chia? Well, Raphael _Amui says, y'all are now Alban Bagbin for his comments about a blind person who was a minister of chieftaincy causing the NDC the 2016 election, but he might be right. Maybe some chiefs thought it was disrespect for a blind man to be the president's rep to them. Tradition has many things we do not know. Perhaps. Prince Adapa says, the reason the disabled are on the streets begging, such a man wants to be the president of Ghana. May God forbid. Paul says, just a few years ago, Alban Bagbin was one of the decent, disciplined and respectable politicians in Ghana. But right now, dear, just gone off. Paul. More social media commentary
from Michael London. So who is being naive? Is it Alban Bagbin or those insulting him to show they are trendy? As distasteful as it sounded, be mindful that we live in a cultural setting. #InsultMeToo. And then last and final comment we have from Machiavelli Adam. There is nothing even like hard truth in what he is saying. He has really disappointed me. Faux pas, which is basically fail in French, I believe, right? Fail.
Yeah.
No, fake.
I get what some people are saying. There might be some cultural aspect to it because in some particular settings, you cannot be chief if you have certain disabilities. But even with that, there are certain things you just don't say. Perhaps in some setting it might be true, but the question is, someone of his caliber should not be saying certain things. It just shouldn't be coming out of your mouth, especially on a platform where you know it can be carried and taken to the press or put on social media, or it can go viral. Just don't say it. Save yourself the hassle. Just don't say it.
Absolutely. Well, I believe we have some more social media commentary, so let's look at some more Facebook comments because you guys have been talking. So let's take a look at some commentary here. Oh, well, we have Facebook. Okay, so from City 97.3 right here, aspiring flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, that is NDC, Alban Bagbin has taken former President John Dramani Mahama to the cleaners for appointing a visually impaired person as the Minister for Chieftaincy Affairs during his administration. All right, guys, let's take a look at what you guys have been saying. From Stephen, I learned when your childhood, your mother refused to give you breast milk, this is how you'll be misbehaving when you grow up and hungry for something you will not get.
Wow.
Okay, well, I see Stephen's making light. From Gregory, does it really matter? Is he just looking for attention? I'm glad I'm reading this while I'm on the toilet, because that is the only way to give it. Eklu Emmanuel, I now believe the Rasta man who says it's only a stupid person that ruins reputation again over the years within the twinkle of an eye. And from Godwin, if he actually said so, then I just don't agree with him. Disability is not an inability. And so these are some of the Facebook Live comments. And then from Mordy Stephen, I thought I heard the man say the chiefs were not happy and complained severely about their ministers, and it's a fact. So, okay, so that's some Facebook Live commentary under our City FM post. And then Twitter here we have, oh, you guys love love these comments, AJ.
Well, going into some Twitter comments, this one is from Mandela. Said he acted, or he acts in he's acting irresponsible, I think he wants to say, so he has to pay for the price. Okay, interesting one. Faith says, on which grounds will he apologize or withdraw? He said the truth. Okay, that's Faith's thoughts. And Raul says, thank God Ghanaians are wise enough to vote for such a... Okay, right.
My face, I was shocked. I was like, wait, don't read it. Wow, what a wow.
Some people decide to use scientific terms for a lot of things. Well, yeah, so that's some people's thoughts about it. What are your thoughts? Hashtag 30 minutes. And as well, go on our social media handles at CityTVGH on Twitter, Facebook, and as well on Instagram.
Wow.
And in isolation and in ending this part of it, just don't say things that you'll be criticized for. If you are running for power or any kind of political or leadership position, just don't say things that you know will get you bashed. Just don't say it. Just don't.
Absolutely.
Just don't.
Disabilities is not something to joke with.
At all. At all.
They are
quite a lot.
Yeah, people are affected.
Yes.
And those comments are hurtful, even
Yes.
if you're not dealing with any type of ailments.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, it's a time for some throwback, because there's some adverts that we all used to love when we were younger and we haven't seen it forever. We'll throw it back right here on 30 minutes. Stay with us.
Every Thursday night on City TV, you're welcome to join from different as they weigh in on your relationship issues. Watch Sister Sister as the ladies get real with issues about love, marriage, betrayal, sex, dating, trust, finances, and more.
Is and his goals and aims and ambitions, including like marital life or children. You should know that from the beginning. And when you have a deep conversation, you should be able to sense the vibe or the energy, but you should have that conversation so that you know what you're going in for. And then you advise yourself upon what you want and what the person wants.
Join Jessica and her sisters for City TV's all-women talk show, Sister Sister, every Thursday at 9 p.m.
Live music, interviews, poetry, and more with your favorite personalities. Be our guest on Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. for the most exciting moments on TV. Join Kojo Akoto Boateng for real entertainment right in your living room. Saturday live on City TV and City 97.3 FM.
you're tuned in to 30 Minutes right here on City TV's AJ Sarpong and Melissa Ward, aka Nelly Nell for real, on social media. My name, you can find on social media as AJ Sarpong. Yeah. And together, we bring you all the trending social media conversations on, well, basically everything you say on the world of social media. We just create it.
What is it? What is that? You said if you read. No, what is it? If you read it, we'll tweet it. If you tweet it, we'll read it.
And she did a voiceover too. Anyways, today is a Thursday, and you know how on social media it's all Throwback Thursdays. Well, we're going to be throwing it back to some adverts that we absolutely loved, couldn't stand, were mimicking, could remember, and everything else inclusive, and then see how you like it. Now that is like ages. There's some adverts that used to look so good to me. Now I look back at it, I'm like, this was the one I was liking so much.
You were going.
It looks quite old. And started off with the one thing that I think was synonymous with our childhood. Taking a look at this advert that was against drug use back in the day.
Mommy. Madam, money call library.
Yeah, Mom. But the men check, I got a crown and a year.
Hey, Apada, walk on him.
May call library.
Hey, and Yagro, I didn't know what the kind of and the one Yamano Papa no Biwaha. We go again. Social.
Debbie, Mempemubia.
Would ye social yen juice kibia? Amba, ye will be a if you buy it.
I said, Debbie, I fed their moon jiming. Share, Mumma, down for Braco cocaine, you be right.
So that was a throwback. So basically what it says is a child is going to the library. He tells his mom, I'm going to the library. The mom is like, okay, sure, but don't take too long. Yeah. And he goes and he meets some two wicked looking guys. And then the guys are like, you know what, where are you going? And he says, I'm going to the library. He says, okay, don't go to the library. Rather, how about you sample some of the things I have? I have all the bad drugs in the world. Try it. And the boy says, no, I don't want to try it. It's like, come on, try it. If you do, it will be really good. And he says, no. And he pushes the men into the mud and says, stop trying to influence me wrongly and rather give it to the pig in the pigsty with you. That is the one that deserves to go there. And then, yeah, it was synonymous with avoid drug or say no to drugs,
in the
90s. And
I grew up watching that. I think they should bring that.
They should do a refix of it
or
in
revamp the cartoon.
They should do it, say no to tramadol kind of thing, and then throw that in. That would actually be nice.
Good one.
Well, and moving on to another one. This one is from back in the day. It was a drink, a beer actually, and matter of fact, I think it's gone out of it. But I think that the company exists, Accra Brewery still exists, but the particular beer has been rebranded or taken off the market or something like that. So taking a look at an ABC advert. When the joy of life comes down, never do the best. It's raining, a lot for you and me. It's raining, the golden death. It's raining, the joy of life. I was born when that came out. I recognized David Dongtor in there. There's some old Ghanaian actors and actresses in there that their name escapes me. I think some of them may have passed away, but it's so nice to see, so nostalgic to see all of that happen. But nostalgic, yes. But ending it with a particular video that we saw. This is not a throwback. Well, it sort of is, but it is a video of the Chi language being set on a Fox show. I think it's Sherlock Holmes or one of the. I'll recall the name of the show. But this is the Chi language used for an incantation. Take a look.
Get away from my daughter! Get away from her! Nancy Hoho. Odada Fumo Osantifo. Miss Rewo. Be and free. Yamada day yasi. Free and so. Free and so.
Really good.
Nancy Hoho. Odada Fumo Osantifo. Miss Rewo. Be and free.
And I say home, be ye free, and so
for those who don't understand, what does it mean?
So they're invoking question and answer, the mythical folklore, and they're trying to make it seem as if he's some kind of demon. So they're saying Anansi home, spirit of Anansi, be ye free, and so come and take of us. Like, I don't know, whoever did this for them, I don't know, the person was just all over the place. The person was just all over the place. But it's nice to see the tree language there. This is the second time I've seen it. The first time I saw a tree person speaking tree in one of the shows. Well, that's it.
Well, that's about it, guys. It was glad to have you hanging out with us again. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Sarpong and Melimel for real, and we'll see you same time tomorrow.